The Russian Defense Ministry claimed today that troops on the Ukrainian border were heading to train stations and airfields, returning to their home bases. But NATO said it saw no sign of a pullout. In troubled eastern Ukraine, the nation's wealthiest man is trying to bring stability to one city by opening his pocketbook. Chief Foreign Affairs correspondent Margaret Warner has that story.
Smokestacks dominate the horizon of Mariupol, belching acrid plumes from the heavy industries that are the economic lifeblood of this seaside southeast Ukrainian city near the Russian border. But it was real blood spilled 11 days ago in a gun battle at a police station, killing 20 under still disputed circumstances that made Mariupol the latest flashpoint in the standoff between Russian-backed eastern separatists and the central government in Kiev. Kiev had sent elite forces here to reassert control, and they and their tanks still maintain checkpoints on the city's outskirts. But now there's a new security game in town. The overwhelmed local police, some who've been forced to a new precinct across town, have been joined by thousands of steelworkers on their street patrols. Yesterday morning, they were lining up in their new standard formations, 2 blue hats with 6 hard hats. 46-year-old Sergei Boev, a former Red Army soldier, is one of the plant workers now walking the beat. His day job is with Metinvest, a huge metals concern, and he remains on salary, but he's volunteered.
I served in Afghanistan long ago, and I don't want war here. I have 3 kids, and I don't want them to die.
The political tensions over whether the eastern Donetsk region should break away from Ukraine was ruining daily life, he said, with growing crime, stealing, looting, and disorder. Now he says it's better.
People are positive towards us. They're greeting us and are calmer.
So you mean the local people trust you more because you're a local person? You're one of them?
Da.
25-year-old police lieutenant Igor Lysenko on the same patrol agreed, saying the crime rate had already dropped.
With the extra help, we can send out more patrols.
All this is the brainchild of Rinat Akhmetov, Ukraine's richest man, the country's Bill Gates, except he made his billions in iron and steel, not software. With deep business interests in Ukraine and Russia, he sat on the fence for months. But last week, he jumped in with this new plan, and Monday made an impassioned televised speech denouncing the separatists' effect on his beloved Donbass industrial region.
You will not intimidate us. Nobody will intimidate us, including those who call themselves the so-called Donetsk People's Republic. Tell me, please, does anyone in Donbass know at least one representative of this DPR? What have they done for our region?
He said he'd pay his plant workers to help restore order and urge local citizens to stand up, too. U.S. and European officials are totally behind what Akhmetov has launched in Mariupol and would like to see the model spread to other East Ukrainian cities where armed separatists have taken hold. In their view, given the mutual hostilities now infecting the East, this oligarch's unconventional approach, with a little behind-the-scenes help from Kiev, may offer the best chance to keep the lid on here until Sunday's crucial presidential election. Akhmetov's power was on display yesterday at Medinvest Ilyich Metalworks at a partly made-for-TV event as thousands of its workers gathered at noon for the sort of people's warning protest Akhmetov had been calling for. The plant manager told his workers the company had always avoided politics, but now felt compelled to act for economic reasons. If Ukraine gets caught in a gray zone between Europe and Russia, he said, it will be hit with sanctions, see its markets dry up, and have to lay workers off. Plant employee Irina Shevchuk was convinced. She's seen men with guns in streets, she said, and heard gunshots in the night. Her motive isn't political, she said, but about the quality of her life.
I was born in Russia, but have always been for an independent Ukraine.
But despite Akhmetov's power, we found the Donetsk People's Republic alive and well in Mariupol, near the city center, barricaded in a controlled zone of their own. Political leader Alexander Kiselyev boasted of organizing the recent referendum endorsing independence for Donetsk.
Our goal is the welfare of our people. We don't want to follow Kiev and join the EU. We want to join the former Soviet states' custom union, the Union of Slavic Peoples.
Just up the street, Kiselyev's military counterpart, Commander Andrei Borisov, was receiving worried family members looking for their lost son. But in private, the chain-smoking 30-year-old, while boasting of commanding 1,000 men, seemed exhausted. Who were you defending the city against?
We are protecting all the people of Mariupol against the junta in Kiev.
Today, Akhmetov lashed out again with another televised statement, accusing the separatist leaders of deception and urging the people of the entire eastern Donbass region to push back against them.
Many ask what is next. Fight, fight, and fight again for your happiness, your present, and your future.
And the best way to fight back, he's been saying, is to vote in Sunday's presidential election. And what of the ordinary people of Mariupol? Do they feel safer? Are they going to vote? Shuttered in her kiosk a short distance away, Yula said yes to both.
It's much calmer since the tanks were taken away from the city. The joint patrols are helping keep the city safe.
She doesn't like any of the presidential candidates, she said, but no matter. Yula just yearns for a return to normal life, as so many others here told us they do too.